My first game that I ever owned was Donkey Kong Land. It was gifted to me by my father on my Game Boy. Now, this isn't my Game Boy. It was gifted to me. I've told the story before. It was at Red Robin. It was incredible, and it was so magnificent. I had my very first game and my very first Game Boy. Now, the reason for it being such a big deal wasn't necessarily because it was my first Game Boy. It was because it was from my parents, my dad, right? My dad and I shared our experiences with Nintendo, and he's always kind of joined in with my Nintendo love. He has a Nintendo Switch 2 right now, and I'm sure that he's not going to get Donkey Kong Bonanza, right? Donkey Kong Bonanza is a little outside of his realm of gaming. He likes Mario Kart. He likes Super Mario 3D World. He actually was never really a big Donkey Kong fan, but I got the yellow cartridge, the Donkey Kong Land yellow cartridge that I played tirelessly on my Game Boy back, gosh, it was in the mid-90s. I also got like 15 Ken Griffey Jr. cards and a baseball bat. I'll never forget it. I was wearing the striped shirt. It was... I remember it so vividly. Now, the reason why I think about this more and more is not just because the Donkey Kong game is coming out and it's like this big deal. It actually is because of today. This moment I had with my daughter. My kid is out of school, so my daughter and my son, I'm full-blown double-dadding it at all times, and we went to the park today. And there was this moment at the park where my daughter, she likes this game we play called Daddy Monster. She's a huge fan of Daddy Monster. Daddy Monster is when I act like a monster and I chase her around, right? Every kid loves the good chase game, right? And so we were playing Daddy Monster, and my son doesn't love that game. He finds it to be a little bit terrifying. And every time we play Daddy Monster, he's always like, "No, Daddy, I know Daddy Monster." I totally understand. I wouldn't have liked Daddy Monster as a kid. There's no way I would have liked a Daddy Monster as a kid. And honestly, I don't understand why my daughter likes Daddy Monster. Lo and behold, here we are. We're playing Daddy Monster. And as we play more and more and more, she's laughing hysterically. She is enjoying every single moment. She is literally scream laughing as I'm chasing her through the playground trying to catch her. And my son's like, "No, Dad, no." He's, again, terrified. But for this moment, suspended in time, it is this moment of bliss, sheer joy or terror for my daughter. And I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't, honestly. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think about what was going on. I didn't think about what was happening at the park. I didn't think about any of that stuff. All I could think about was I was playing Daddy Monster and wondering, okay, when are we going to get home so we can do lunch, get these kids in for a nap so that I can get to my office and I can record this video for you guys. So here we are. We're at home doing everything, getting everything together, and I'm exhausted, dude. I'm tired. And I swear this is going to tie back in to our good buddy DK here in a second. But I'm exhausted. I'm like, okay, I got to get these kids, I got to do this work. In this moment that I'm sharing with my daughter, I'm just like, I got to get this done so I can. I'm getting frustrated a little bit because they're goofing off, they're laughing, they're playing. And I'm like, I just need to get these kids into bed. And here we go, getting them going, finally getting to bed. And my daughter asks me to read her a book. And the book that she wants to read me is a book that my wife gifted to me for Father's Day. I believe it's called You're Made for Me. Let me figure it out for you guys. Yeah, Made for Me. This is kind of what it looks like if you're interested. It's this big, huge, giant dad-looking character. And I first heard this when I was, my daughter was watching something called Vooks. So yeah, Made for Me. She goes, "Dada, can you read me this?" And I'm like, okay, yes, we'll do stories. We usually don't do stories during nap time, but we'll do stories. So we did stories. And I read her Made for Me. Now, again, I've never read it. I've only listened to it through something called Vooks. Video books, if you're not familiar, it's a godsend. If you don't want your kids to watch TV before bed, you can put on Vooks. What Vooks is it's just like audio books, but except they animate the pictures. It's literally just the books, right? And so we're reading through this book, this Made Just for Me, and it keeps repeating, "You're made just for me." And it goes through the life of this child as it shows up, right? And this father's holding this child, and it's like this, "You've changed my world, you've changed my life, you've changed everything. You're made just for me." And this dad watching the kid grow up as it goes on. And the last page is him going, "You're growing up," and stuff. And he's holding a backpack because the kid is going off to school. And my daughter, she just got done doing preschool. And so now we're here in this summertime. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to balance everything with my children? I got a lot to do. And it hit me so hard while I was reading this book. It hit me that my daughter is growing up, my son is growing up, and it's not that they're growing up at a rate that is so unbelievably fast and I'm missing out on them and all this kind of stuff. It isn't that. Because, time moves at its pace, and whether you feel like you're missing it or not, it's moving. It's not that whole thing. It's that my daughter's world is what is right in front of her. There's a moment in the book where the dad's like, I watch you as you stare up and laugh at the clouds, right? The line, something similar to that. And I was thinking about that. And I'm like, when was the last time I got to laugh at the clouds? When was the last time that I got to sit there and just, there's so much at all times yelling at you, pulling at you. And as a father, there's so much pressure, so much unbelievable pressure at all times to be the fill in the blank that I'm supposed to be, right? As a business person, there's so much pressure. And I look at my daughter, I look at my son as they run and scream and yell at the park, and I am watching them do this, and they are in such blissful joy, just absolute joy. And I am trying to experience that with them, but I have so many concerns. Is he going to fall off of this? My daughter's pretending she's in a kingdom, and that she is in that kingdom. There's so much wonderful, beautiful joy that is in the heart of my child, my children, my son. He's pretending he's a dinosaur while my daughter is looking for dinosaur bones. Like, this is something that I realize that I don't get that opportunity anymore. I don't. Until now. Now, as I thought about it more and as I was getting everything ready, I'm like, okay, I got to get some work done. I want to talk about Donkey Kong. I thought, what's so special about the Donkey Kong release that like was this big deal? What was this huge thing? Because I'm a huge Mario fan. You guys know my boy here, like he's my guy. I'm a huge Mario fan, but what was it about that Donkey Kong release that just hit so much harder, right? And as I started this video off, we were talking about how like my dad gifted me Donkey Kong Land when I was a kid. Sorry, I'm adjusting the thing. And with that gift of Donkey Kong Land, it kind of started down this trajectory or this road of sharing Nintendo with my dad, right? I had already started sharing Nintendo with my dad, but I was sharing with him more and more and sharing my experiences and him watching me while I play, and of course I watching him when he plays. And I thought of this moment in Bonanza where we're watching, a lot of us watched that release, the 15-minute trailer, the game, the present, whatever they call it. And there's this moment when Pauline is reaching out saying Donkey Kong. And that's the moment that the tear hit my eye. And it's not because she's his daughter, because that's not how it is. It's not because it is this moment, this beautiful parallel between the bliss, the joy of a child and the reality of a world, right? The joy of the child being this singing child on the back of Donkey Kong, this big beast, and the world, the reality of that separation that can happen, that reality there. And for me, I was like, this is such a powerful moment. I mean, Disney, Pixar, you name it. You got Sully and the little, what's her, Dot? Boo. I think they call her Boo. You got Sully and Boo. You have Wreck-It Ralph. I didn't see Wreck-It Ralph, but you have Wreck-It Ralph and the little girl. There's all of these different tropes that exist out there, right? We have the big princesses, all this stuff, the mother, the this, that, and the other. But then you have the big brute with the soft, angelic child. This dynamic is so powerful and so unbelievable. And for me, Donkey Kong Bonanza, of course, is going to be a fun game. It's going to be a silly, wacky time. We're going to blow stuff up. We're going to smash stuff. We're a big, giant Donkey Kong. Obviously not a donkey. It's kind of funny when you think about it, a giant donkey. But we're big, giant Donkey Kong, right? With this beautiful, soft, angelic little Pauline. And I'm so excited for the game because in my moment today with my daughter, in that moment looking at her as she's looking at the book, and I stop reading for a moment just to take a glance at my beautiful girl and my beautiful boy, and she goes, "Dada, why'd you stop?" It was a moment in time when I decided that the world was just what I was touching with my hands. The world was just what was within my reach. That's all that was there. And for that brief moment, as my daughter anticipated the next move, I was the one who was daydreaming and accepting what was before me, right? This is the power that we have as humans. This is the joy that we have access to, right? This is the thing that we can have fun with. I've seen comments in my videos of people talking about the Nintendo Switch 2. The Nintendo Switch 2 is nothing. The Steam Deck is this. The Steam Deck was better. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that you still have this. Are you regretting it, seeing that the Steam Deck is sold out? I returned mine because the Steam Deck seems to be the more important thing. All these back and forths. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other, because they aren't. But what I'm saying is, if you make your decisions based on how others are going to react, the decisions you make aren't going to be the ones for you. I made a video where I talked briefly about what my wife said about curating a life for yourself. Your life is the perfect curation of exactly what you want it to be, right? Whether it's the experiences you have control over or the experiences you don't have control over, your life is curated for you, because the experiences you don't have control over, you will have a perspective on, right? And so these experiences are for you, but when you live through the lenses of other people's lives, other people's eyes, that curated experience that you were supposed to have is not happening. You're wondering, why am I not having what is that? And that, my friends, is what kids do not have, at least for a certain amount of time. That's what the beautiful innocence of a child is, when you are out at a park and they are picking up wood chips to exchange for sandwiches, because that is the currency, even though you're having to buy the wood chips off of them and give them the sandwich. I don't know how currency works in my wild daughter's world. And I certainly don't know how currency works in my son's world, because he brings me a handful of wood chips and then hands me a shoe. I don't know the conversion. Do you know the conversion of shoe to wood chips? Let me land the plane with this. Life is based on the choices you have. And with games coming out for the Nintendo Switch 2, for the Steam Deck, for whatever it is, you make the decision for yourself. Choose to have fun. Choose to enjoy yourself. Choose to actually live in the moment. I know for me, in Donkey Kong Bonanza, I look at that experience and I think so many things. If we're going to talk from a practical standpoint, if we're going to talk about the fun there, let's just talk simply about skill tree Donkey Kong, smash and grab, collectibles, fun story, different worlds, all the collectibles. Yes, I love collectibles. It's so much fun. The game itself looks like a blast and a half, but what it looks like is an opportunity for me to peer into a window that'll allow me to have an experiences that is absolutely curated for me to enjoy, and pass a controller to my little girl, eventual little boy, to enjoy games with him when he understands how to do the whole thing, and to laugh and have moments and have instances that are precisely exactly at the time that they're happening, and not worry about what's happening down the line, not worry about what's happening around the corner, but experience the joy and the bliss and the absolute unadulterated innocence that does exist within the world of a child through a video game. And if you're too adult for that, and if that story and those kiddie games are too much for you, that's fine, right? Some people need something else. Go play something else. But do not try to reason the joy out of the hearts of other people. Don't try to virtue signal the way into people's excitement about how Nintendo's some terrible corporate, because Nintendo grants access to us parents to a world that exists so momentarily, so instant, so right in front of us. It allows us to experience a life that we once had. And if you're more focused about corporate greed than in someone else's decision than the moment you can actually experience what's in front of you, maybe sit down and think about it. Because if it is more important to you to know that you can emulate on it than it is to enjoy a moment in time and to actually create a memory, then maybe this isn't for you. And I know this got really hot, but I'm hot about it. I'm hot about it, right? I find myself gravitating towards these experiences because I only get minutes. That's all I get. That's all we have. You may not have children. You may not have something to share this with. That's right. Hey, different lifestyles for different people. But for those of us who do have children, I will gladly take a console that they say they'll brick my device if I decide to hack it, and I can't play games that I grew up playing because they're not available to me. I gladly take that to hear the giggle of my daughter, to hear the chuckle of my son, to see the smile on my wife's face, to hear my dad say, "Can you play Mario Kart with me?" I will take that any day of the week. Any day of the week. And I challenge you to find joy in that. Because gaming is not about ownership. Gaming is about experience. Play more and be kind.